What's up, y'all? Hopefully everybody's doing good, staying safe. Right behind me is my road bike that I started bringing with me on the road. Right here I have a stationary bike thing. So basically what I do is I can lift my mattress up and then I mount my fork onto this, and yeah, I can pedal it on my bed in place. And a lot of people will say, well, just take it outside and go riding. It's not very realistic because a lot of times you're at the shipper, you know, I'm not gonna go ride circles around docks. So this is much easier, you know, or it's at night and whatnot. So hopefully I actually do this and get some cardio in. It's kind of really humid, so I have my AC going, have it on set of 70. Everything on it is on auto. I just shut it off. Everything is on auto, makes it amazing in here. In the meantime, I had a really good breakfast this morning. I had eggs, sausage, and rice. To some people, that's an odd combination, but I just started doing it, and it's freaking awesome. Makes you so full for most of your day. And then midday, I'll just have a shake, because usually midday is the meal that you can really struggle with. In the morning, you can get a good meal, wake up earlier, cook it up. At the end of the day, you can get a good meal, you know, when you arrive, cook it up. But midday is, especially if you're doing a longer trip, you're really gonna struggle. But yeah, this is the shake we're working with. So let's show you kind of what we're gonna throw it in there. I always just have my cup ready. This is some fruits, mangoes, and strawberries. These are frozen. Stuff is awesome. From Walmart, I use a NutriBullet, Magic Bullet, and this is my cup for scooping up stuff out of here. So we're gonna go with a scoop of chia seeds, however you say it. Scoop of peanut butter. This is the powder one. Might even do half a scoop. This is mainly for the flavor. Some oatmeal, like 1 scoop or half a scoop of oatmeal. Gold standard whey protein. This chocolate. I'm gonna do half a banana, eat the other half, and Greek yogurt, and then coconut milk. Just because it tastes much better, and I think it's much better for you than the dairy that you would get at Walmart, because who the hell knows what they put in those cows. But then again, I could be wrong. I'm not a nutritionist or anything, so I'm not the guy to listen to. This is just kind of what I think works for me. But yeah, let's throw this in there and see how this shake tastes. All right, y'all, we are ready. Time to get rolling. Put my tandem, strap my load, put the seal on, and we're ready to go. My freaking glass is looking greasy because I used some chemical that I probably shouldn't have. This last weekend was a busy one. I had to replace the hoses on my power steering box that goes from my it's kind of hoses that go between power steering reservoir, power steering pump, and the steering box. There were 2 hoses on there that are like kind of like knitted on the outside for better protection, I guess, because there's a lot of pressure. And I believe Freightliner wanted like $180 for one of those. But there's a place locally that if you take them a hose, any hose, mostly for air and oil, they'll basically make you the same hose, same fittings, everything. So long story short is, they made me 2 hoses for $90. And they can also do your air hoses. Usually the hoses on your front brake chambers go bad because you turn and whatnot. So they can make those. I've had those made there before. A lot cheaper. Substantially cheaper than getting them at the dealer. So if I was you, I would check out some places locally, like industrial supply type of places, and see if they can make it for you, you know. Because as a small owner operator, every saving makes a difference. Which kind of brings me to a comment from yesterday. Not that, you know, I'm referring, today's the first. Anyways, it's on my video where I was doing sound insulation. Some guy commented, he's like, you need to stop driving that piece of junk. It's disgusting, etc., etc., referring to my truck, that I need to go get a job at a real company and drive a new truck. I think it's sad that that's the type of opinions people have, but the funniest thing to me is when people say that type of stuff, but they're a company driver driving a fleet truck, and you know, they have this fancy truck and a safe million-mile sticker on back of their truck, but they've been a company driver for 10-20 years. Now, you know, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. If being a company driver is what you like doing and you don't want to have anything to do with being an owner-operator, I respect that. That's your right to want what you want. However, if you point fingers at me and say, you know, what I'm doing is stupid and doesn't make sense and whatnot, then I'm gonna point fingers at you also, you know, and I don't get it, you know. Most of the times people saying crap about my truck are company drivers. And I don't know, this guy was just really negative, and I just don't get it. Like, some people are just so negative. I guess they have some crap going on in their life and they want to see others fail, and it seemed like by seeing others fail, that almost brings success to them. And you know, that's a sad way to look at it. If you're feeling like that, I hope whatever is going on in your life gets better for you and things start being more positive and you get more optimistic. That's just a sad way of thinking about things. But anyways, so this guy was like, you know, stop driving that junker, and I was like, well, you know, it's my truck. I'm happy with my junker. You know, I paid off my truck within less than a month of driving as an owner-operator, and ever since then, you know, knock on wood, I haven't had any major issues. So I've managed to save up enough to buy this truck 3 times again. So point being is, you know, he kept going on about stuff like that, and I was like, you know, as a company driver, what I made and what I make now, I probably make in a week what I used to make in a month as a company driver now as an owner-operator. So it's all right. I love my truck. And then he proceeded to talk about, like, oh, well, how much do you make net after taxes? And then he started talking about what nationality am I? And when people start going that direction, I just kind of stopped giving them attention. And then he just kept going on like, oh, that thing is gonna break down this year and you're gonna go bankrupt trying to fix it, and you're gonna be a lease owner operator, blah blah blah. And so it's truly sad that there are people out there like that it's not really like, oh, them thinking what you're doing is dumb. It's more like they want you to fail. They don't want you to succeed, because then it amplifies their situation as so much better because they haven't failed to that extent. And you know, that's a sad way of looking at things. You know, somebody else's failure bringing you success is a sad point of view, and I feel bad for those people, honestly. But like I said, if you're an owner-operator and you want to purchase a brand new truck, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'd love to have a brand new truck. It's just that when you buy a brand new truck, you're almost locked in. It's almost like an agreement that says for the next 5 years you're gonna drive X amount of miles to make X amount of money so you can pay X amount of payments. It's like almost certain. And you know, when you get a truck like this, yeah, sure, you could have a really expensive repair, like an engine rebuild or something that is, you know, $20,000-$30,000 depending on what it is, which Detroit's are fairly cheap. You can buy a completely remanufactured engine for like $25,000-$30,000. But being the point is, you have flexibility, you know. You don't have to stay on the road because you don't have those payments. And but what I'm trying to say is, a lot of these big companies that people work for, they feed people these untruthful things like, you must have a brand new truck, all these things are too expensive, you can't afford to try being an owner-operator. And what I tell people is, main mistake I made with buying this truck is that I didn't buy it earlier. Just take that leap of faith and give it a shot, and if you fail, you fail. you know, now I do understand that not everybody is in the same position and situation as myself. You know, I don't have kids, I don't have a lot of bills, so I can afford to take some risks that other people may not be able to. I completely understand that and I respect that, but I would still say that buying a used truck is probably your best bet as an owner operator, because you know, if you can get, if you're smart about it, you can get a really nice truck for $20,000-$30,000, you know, like a starter truck. And I think the worst thing you can do is buy a truck that hasn't been overhauled, especially these new emissions trucks. Don't buy a truck that has, you know, anywhere from 400,000 to 1,000,000 miles, because those are the points where those things will crap out. And so the way I look at it is, you either buy a truck before the company has had time to ruin it, or you buy the truck after it's been ruined and it's been fixed. So that's just my 2 cents, the way I look at things. So when you're buying that $20,000-$30,000 truck, you should not go get a Cascadia or a Volvo with 700,000 miles that's ready to crap out. That's why they're selling it. You should get like a truck that's older, but it's already been rebuilt and has some paperwork to back that rebuild. And I definitely stand behind pre-emissions engines. They're a lot more reliable, but then again, that's just my personal opinion. But I would say definitely buying an older truck is the way to go, because you know, if you think about it, like let's say you just started out as a company driver, you've been driving for 2 years, you know, you have a good driving record, and you're really, you know, wanting to buy a truck. Now, if you want to buy a brand new truck, and I'm talking about buying a truck, I'm not going to go into lease owner operator crap, because for most part leasing trucks is complete robbery. I mean, think of it from a standpoint of a business. Why would they go through the struggle of buying a truck, doing all this extra stuff just to lease it to you so you can make money? They're making money on it too, you know. It just common sense. It's they're not going to do it for free. So the more people you have involved in the transaction, the less money you're going to get. It's like a funnel down the drain. Everybody has to take their share before it gets to you. It's just the reality of the world, you know, and that's kind of how I look at it. So let's say you've been a company driver for 2 years, and you'd like to buy your truck and become an owner operator. I always tell people, like, let's say you have $30,000 in your bank. That's what you have. To buy a brand new truck, you need to put 20% down. Now, 20% down on a $150,000 truck is about $30,000. But now also you need many other expenses that are going to occur with that. So you can't really afford to just do that. And waiting another year to save up another, you know, $10,000, $20,000, you're going to lose a lot of money. So when you have that 30, I think you're best off just buying a used truck, you know, that's maybe $30,000, putting 20% down on that truck, which in that case would be like $6,000, taking care of your taxes, your insurance, your registration, and for start, lease a trailer. Don't be worried about buying a trailer right away from the start, from the get-go. Buy a truck, have money in the bank, and just start driving. And when you start driving, you need to put some miles in so you can save up some money. And then when you save up some money and you're stable on your feet, then you can look into a trailer. You're good on the rebuild, etc., etc. You know, give it 1 or 2 years. If then you would love to buy a brand new truck, you hate that old truck, you're tired of working on it, then go ahead and do that. You know, you got your money worth out of that old truck, and now you're all right. You know, you'll be good. But that's just kind of me blabbering about these things, and I'm still a rookie driver. I think I'll forever be a rookie driver, always something to learn, but I've been doing this for 3 years. I've seen the business side of it. Like, you know, Melissa has a dispatch company. I find my own loads. I repair my own equipment. Everything that I can do, I do it myself. Like I said, last weekend, I replaced the hoses on the power steering. I replaced the other brake chamber that went out. That was my first time replacing a brake chamber. That was kind of sketchy, to be honest, but I got it done. I did my oil change, etc., etc. So if you're gonna buy a used truck, you're gonna have to be hands-on. If you plan to buy a used truck and just pay a shop to do everything, you might as well get a new truck, because those repairs and those costs are gonna probably, at a shop, they're gonna add up to just having a payment on a new truck. So there's many ways to go about this and to do things. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but I would say I encourage everybody to give it a shot if you have the ability to try and get your own truck, because you know you're gonna make substantially more money as a company driver if this is something that you're looking into being long-term. So it is what it is. But yeah, let's keep on trucking and catch you in a bit. Yeah, I'm taking this load over to Kentucky. To my understanding, straight through delivery, and then once I deliver, take my break. Tomorrow morning I got a pickup literally like 7 miles away from my delivery, and I'm going straight through home. And then when I get home, that was rough. When I get home, I have some work to do on the truck. Again, unfortunately, I've been doing these alignments, and I kept trying to figure out like what the issue was, because I kept losing the alignment, and I finally realized that I think my tie bar ends are shut. So I'm gonna have to replace those, and I think while I'm at it, I'm also gonna replace the drag link. So once I replace that, I've definitely done a substantial amount of things on my suspension up front, on my steering. I've done my kingpins, my steering box, my tie bar ends, my drag link, the hoses on the gearing, on the steering box. So definitely a substantial amount of things I've done on it. But you know, it's an old truck, so there's always something to do, you know. But yeah, I mean, all of the loads this week were short. I think this week, like, you know, with all my miles. So I went to Columbus. That was like 4:30. Then I went to New Albany. That was like another 30 deadhead. So 460. Where did I even go then? Then I went to Owensboro, Kentucky, which I think was like 300 miles. Let's round that up to 800. And then I went over here to Evansville to pick this up, which was only like 40 miles, so 840. And now I'm doing this. This is like 200 loaded, so 1040. And then tomorrow out of Hebron, I'm going home. So this week I'm only doing 1,200 miles. And if I was a call company driver, man, that would be a weak check. I would have complained a lot. But as an owner-operator, I'm extremely happy. You know, I left home Sunday night, and knock on wood, if everything goes well, I should be home Wednesday afternoon, and I'm delivering it straight through. So I'm gonna be done by Wednesday afternoon. So if you count it in periods of 24 hours, I've been on the road like 3 days. So you really cannot beat that. But again, as a company driver, that would have been a really weak week. But as an owner-operator, I'm really happy with what I grossed and with what I net. And I know a lot of people are like wondering, well, what do you net and whatnot? And I know there's channels out there that break down information of their pay and etc. and what to expect. Myself personally, I just don't like sharing personal finances to that extent. And if that's what you want to do, that's okay. I respect that if you want to put that information out there. But for me personally, I don't think people need to know what exactly I make. But I make good money. I'm happy. Let's put it that way. You don't have to put everything about yourself out there for world to see, because a lot of people watching, unfortunately, are just there to either find something to make themselves feel better, to make fun of you, and you know there's a select few. They're, you know, positive individuals and supportive and whatnot, but most people out there, they're just looking for something to make themselves feel better in life by seeing somebody else not doing as good or whatever. So personal information and things like that, I just don't share. The world doesn't need to know everything about yourself. So that's just my 2 cents. And if you like to do otherwise, I completely respect that as well. You know, we're humans, we're different. All right, let's break this. Definitely not a fan of stoplights like this when it's like 50-mile-an-hour limit, and then we got stoplights. Definitely need to replace some of these gauges, light bulbs. I need to go to Freightliner or buy some. It's literally a small wire with a head. And they want like $20 for one wire. It's literally one wire with like a small head like this big. It's kind of outrageous if you ask me, but no really other alternatives. I looked online already, so. Yeah, guys, that's kind of my blabber for the day. Hopefully I said something new to you that you didn't know, or etc, etc. Hopefully you liked the video, a little short drive here, and I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you have any questions that you want to ask personally, my email is in my info. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.